Right, Will, what are we looking at here?
It's a 1955 D-Type short-nosed Jaguar. So this car is a nice original car that was sold new to Canada. It went out to Plimley Motors in the west coast, northwest coast of Canada, or west coast of Canada, and it raced in the northwest, Pacific Northwest. Yep. But it's a car. It's probably one of the most raced. Did about 38 races we know of in the period. So it went out and was a show car for 2 years with Plimley Motors.
Yep.
Then was sold to a guy called Jim Rattenbury, who raced it in Canada and also in northwest of America. And then, and he sort of developed it as time went on. I think it had at one point he supercharged it. It was fuel injected. It had, even in the 60s, had a 427 Cobra engine put in it.
Okay.
At one point, racing. But it was, 38 races, but it's a pretty impressive record, 15 wins.
Oh, okay, so it was a very competitive car.
10 second places, 6 third places, and I think 6 class wins that we know of so far.
Yeah.
And actually it's nice, we've got all the early lovely old newspaper articles. It's very well written up.
That's it, the provenance on this car is so extraordinary. You've gone to some extreme lengths to document that as well. Obviously you've got the book there that you
it's nice. I mean,
you put together, which has all the sort of history of the car in it. Which
I think it's important, I think with these cars, and actually about the subsequent story of the car and what we found that links in with the history. But it's nice to have the period shots. I mean, there's all the race records of the car over the years.
Yeah.
Here it is at Plimley Avenue, which is lovely with the writing down the side. The car was actually originally white.
Right, okay.
Also cream, I would have imagined. With red interior. So you got the red leather, which is nice, showing some original pictures, as a show car. But early on in its life, Jim Rattenbury put this roll cage on it. You'll be able to see.
Yeah.
And that was really, what's special about that is there's still traces, and you could still see underneath, when the car was restored, when we were researching the car, there's still the hole for where it went through the bodywork underneath the wing mirror here, so it's quite special. As you can see, raced, prolifically, and as I said earlier when we were talking, there's great shots of it running against that Lotus 15. It must be in here somewhere. There you go. There's the 2 cars.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, that is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And it finished its finished its racing history in the mid 60s.
Yeah.
Luxury of researching in the history of these. Sometimes it's special when you get to look at what's written about a car in the past and delve into it and sort of prove it's a lot more than that. Prime example, this car was written up a long time ago before access to a lot of information. Big crash and all of the history. And, we've got photographs of the car being towed back onto the road. Everything's all, wheels all straight. Yeah. And then you deal with, you look at the evidence on the car that it's correct. You look at the paint, the original bonnet. It's it's the original monocoque, the original bonnet. It's the original engine on the car. The gearbox is original, although not original to the car.
Okay.
It's a period. I think it was on one of the Cunningham cars.
Right.
And the back axle is a really early original back axle. And it's nice looking at these things all the way through. But as you dealing with experts like Chris Keefer-Lucas, there's massive amount of knowledge. All the different riveting and looking at different paint. It's great to be able to cross-reference period photographs and see where there was another air vent in the bonnet, and then there's the welded hole in the bonnet. There's the welded patch for where the roll cage comes through.
Okay.
Here's in the side here. There's I think it's about here. There's another patch for where the strap was when they extended the bonnet.
Yeah.
So all of that, I think that's fun. All of that digging it, but it's nice to be able to go, well, actually, to take things forward and say, well, look, actually, it's been written down as one thing, but it's wrong. This is actually a really, this is a really complete, nice original car.
Yeah. Has it been campaigned recently in more modern historic events as well?
And it's running very much as a front-running car.
Oh,
yeah. So it's been Goodwood, Woodcote Trophy.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Le Mans Classic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing with a D-Type is they're just so usable.
It's such a beautiful car as well. I mean, you know, obviously racing cars today, there's so many aero and bits of carbon everywhere. It's the simplicity of the design as well. It's just so beautiful, isn't it?
I think it's an iconic design.
Yeah.
There's certain things in life that sort of stand out, like you know, I don't know, maybe the gold Dunhill lighter, you know, that whole, that nice feel, you know, things like that, you know, the D-Type Jag, Spitfire, there's certain design things that just, you can't help but smile when you see.
Absolutely. Oh, that's cozy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice...
God, that really hugs the sort of, Oh, wow, that is...
Yeah, so you're very much in the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a nice place to sit, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know, you feel very part of it, and
it's just the steering wheel feels like it's sort of off a slight
just
angle.
a little bit, just the way the steering, you know, it's navigating its way through the engine bay, you know, just slightly off. You don't really notice that once you're underway.
Yeah.
But what's lovely about, you know, these, you know, and from Sawyer's design, you know, being a monocoque, everything, it's probably one of the first cars really prolifically to use a bonded riveted monocoque.
Right, okay. Oh, that's a Hoyer. Oh, that is fantastic. I love that.
Yeah.
That Monte Carlo Hoyer stop. Yeah, that is.
But all the lovely Smiths, you know, gauges and all nice and original.
Yeah. And this is a 5-speed. Four speed.
You know, and you look in the mirror and you've got the sort of that curvaceous hip at
the back. You do, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that era, you know, this with the, you know, this era having this sort of, you know, it's that sort of early feel of, you know, there is aerodynamic sort of, they were understanding aerodynamic and a feel for it.
Yeah.
But it was still of an era where people, I think modern race cars are beautiful as well, but they're driven by aerodynamic need.
Yeah.
Luckily, they look great too. But, you know, these were penned, and, you know, that 50s era, if it looks good, if it looks beautiful, it's probably fast as well. You know, just the lines on this car are you know, they work and they flow.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely
Hence
beautiful.
why it's held its place as an icon of design, not just for car people, but throughout.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me see it.
Pleasure.
Lovely. And it's in terms of the engine, it's a 3-litre.
3.4. So 55 is a 3.4.
Okay.
Straight six.
Straight six.
Yeah.
Jaguar engine.
Twin overhead cam.
Okay.
Yeah, Jaguar engine. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Be good to hear it.
D-Type.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get these up. You know, what you've got to remember, and particularly this engine, the way this engine's set up.
Yeah.
It's very much a racing engine.
Yeah.
So it's getting up to temperature.
Yeah.
You know, and the way you tune different race engines, you know, a lot of them will be tuned towards the top end on carburation. So, you know, it's getting some heat through and clearing it, you know, at the lower end of the throttle.
Yeah.
When you first start to put it in, it's putting a lot of fuel in there, so it sometimes needs to clear up. You know, it depends how they're tuned towards the top end. But yeah, it's a special noise.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for letting us have a little walk around and look at this car. It is, very, very special. So thank you.
Pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed that little walk around this fantastic Jaguar D-Type. Massive thank you to Will for letting us come down and film with it. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, leave a comment, drop a like. We haven't really made a video like this before, so if you liked it, we can make some more. So yeah, and also Custodian has launched specialist insurance designed for enthusiasts as well. So if you have a specialist car, that could be of use to you as well. I'll leave a link down below to that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.